Imagine this scene. The sun is a fiery anvil, beating down on the dry, cracked earth. A man stumbles through the shimmering heat haze, his shoulders slumped, every muscle screaming in protest. This is Esau, the hunter, the man of the field. His clothes are caked with dust and sweat. His throat is a dessert, and his stomach is a gnawing, hollow pit. He's been hunting all day, tracking game under that relentless sun, and he's come back with nothing. He is utterly spent, a walking embodiment of exhaustion and hunger. As he stumbled toward his family's camp, a smell hit him. It's a rich, earthy, savory aroma that seems to these are simmering in a thick, red stew, seasoned with spices that make the air itself feel nourishing. The scent is life. It's salvation. And at the source of this incredible smell is his brother, Jacob. Jacob isn't like Esau. He's a quiet man, a dweller intense. He's thoughtful, calculating. While Esau was out wrestling with the wilderness, Jacob was at home, carefully tending to this pot of stew. The scent led him to a tent, where his twin brother, Jacob, was stirring a pot over the fire. He sees his brother approaching, sees the desperation in his eyes, the way he practically collapses near the fire. Jacob knows hunger, but he also knows opportunity. "Let me have some of that red stew," Esau gasps, his voice raw. "I'm about to die." It's an exaggeration, of course, but that's how he feels in that moment. The gnawing emptiness in his belly is his entire reality. Nothing else matters, not the past, not the future, just this agonizing, present hunger. Jacob looks at his brother. He looks at the stew, bubbling and perfect. He sees Esau's animalistic need, and a plan, perhaps one that has been simmering in his mind for years, finally comes to a boil. He doesn't just offer his brother a bowl. He sees a transaction, a moment of leverage that may never come again. "First," Jacob says, his voice steady, in stark contrast to Esau's ragged pleading, "sell me your birthright." Let's pause here, because to our modern ears, this might sound like a strange, almost nonsensical request. A birthright? What even is that? Is it just getting a bigger slice of the inheritance? No. It was so much more. In their culture, the birthright was everything. It wasn't just about property or wealth, though it did include a double portion of the father's inheritance. The birthright was a spiritual and social mantle. It designated the firstborn son as the future head of the family, the patriarch, the priest. He would carry the family name, the family's honor, and most importantly, the family's covenant blessing from God. Think about their grandfather, Abraham. God made a covenant with him, a promise that his descendants would be as numerous as the stars, that through his line, all the nations of the earth would be blessed. This was the promise that was passed down to their father, Isaac. And the birthright was the key to that promise. It was the conduit through which this divine, history-shaping blessing would flow. To hold the birthright was to be the chosen instrument of God's plan for humanity. It was an eternal, generational, and sacred trust. It was a link in a chain stretching from the past all the way into eternity. And Jacob, the quiet one, the planner, understood this. He coveted it. He felt, perhaps, that he was more suited for it than his impulsive, worldly brother. Now, back to the scene. Esau hears Jacob's words. "Sell me your birthright." For a moment, the world must have stopped. He looks at his brother, then at the steaming pot of stew. The smell is intoxicating. His hunger is a roaring beast inside him. He can't think straight. He can't think about covenants, or generations, or spiritual legacies. His entire world has shrunk to the size of that clay pot. He scoffs. "Look, I am about to die," he says again, the words tumbling out in a wave of self-pity. "What good is the birthright to me? What good is an eternal promise when my stomach is empty right now? What good is a future blessing when my present is so painful?" This is the cry of a man enslaved by the immediate. He sees only the temporary, the tangible. The lentils are real. The hunger is real. The birthright feels like a distant, abstract concept. An idea. And you can't eat an idea. He's not just being dramatic. He has completely lost perspective. The agony of the moment has blinded him to the value of a lifetime. It's a tragic, human moment we can all recognize. We've all had times where a small, immediate desire felt more important than a larger, long-term good. Jacob doesn't argue. He just presses his advantage. Swear to me first, he insists. He wants it sealed. Official. An unbreakable oath. And Esau, without a second thought, swears the oath. He lifts his hand and renounces his future. He trades away his identity as the firstborn, his role in God's covenant, his spiritual inheritance. All of it, for a meal. Jacob then ladles the red stew and some bread into a bowl and hands it to his brother. Esau grabs it. He doesn't savor it. He devours it. He eats and drinks with a desperate haste, focused only on filling the void. And when he's done, when the last drop of stew is gone and the last crumb of bread is eaten, he gets up and walks away. The scripture says he despised his birthright. He didn't just sell it. He held it in contempt. He treated it as worthless. The hunger was gone. The temporary craving was satisfied. But what was left? An empty bowl, and an even emptier future. The haunting finality of this moment is chilling. In that brief exchange, a transaction that probably took less than 5 minutes, the entire trajectory of history was altered. 2 nations were defined. The line of the divine promise was rerouted from the firstborn to the second. All because one man was tired and hungry. All because he valued a moment of physical comfort over a lifetime of spiritual purpose. This story isn't just an ancient tale about 2 brothers, it's a profound and timeless caution. It asks us, what is our bowl of stew? What temporary pleasure? What immediate satisfaction? What fleeting comfort are we tempted to trade for our own birthright, our integrity, our long-term goals, our relationships, our calling, our faith? Esau's tragedy is that he didn't realize the weight of what he had until it was gone. He satisfied his hunger for an hour, but he would live with the spiritual hunger of his loss for the rest of his life. He traded the eternal for the temporary, the sacred for the common. And all he had to show for it was the fading taste of lentil stew. Thanks for watching. If this story resonated with you, consider subscribing for more deep dives into these powerful narratives. See you in the next video. God bless you.